Hey everybody, this is Will Blesch. I am the author of the forthcoming book, All Eyes on Me, The Explosive Secrets of Online Traffic Generation. And what I do is I basically help entrepreneurs to reach more of those who want what they sell, guaranteed. Now, today I wanted to talk about a couple of branding problems that almost everybody experiences. And one of those things is that most people, actually I'll just tell you a story real quick. There was this private chef, right? And he had no idea what to do to, how to start positioning himself, how to start branding his private business as a chef. And he basically said something like, I don't have any idea what to do. Is there a list of questions that I should ask myself when I'm starting out? How the hell do I go about doing it without feeling all full of myself? I feel very arrogant and self-centered by even trying to come up with something that sets me apart from everybody else. And another thing that he said was, how do I make sure that I don't get to a point where I just say, screw it, and then just go with whatever I've got, right? So there's a couple of things here, and what I will do is I'll answer basically like the second part first. How do you make sure that you don't get to a point where you say, screw it, and just go with whatever you've got, right? First of all, that would be a really big mistake. In terms of positioning yourself, in terms of branding yourself and your business, you should never just go with whatever you've got. You should really take the time to make sure that you get it right, and that you get it right from the very beginning. As much as possible. Now, say you don't have any money and you're starting out, or even if you have a lot of money, branding your business is what is branding? Number one, it's the bond that's between you and your customer, whoever you serve, whether you have a you have a service or you have a product that meets some kind of need. The entire thing about branding, it's all about the relationship between you and your target audience, the people who want your service or want your product. Now, before you even get into things like logos and the website colors and all of that kind of thing, because it's all about the relationship first, when you're positioning yourself in the market and you have, maybe a lot of competitors or just a few competitors, the one thing that is going to start to set you apart from everybody else is the experience that your business provides, or that you specifically provide to your customers. So what kind of experience do you want them to have? That's a really big question that you need to be able to answer on the inside of yourself. Part of that comes from putting out your, making sure you have a written down mission statement. If you don't know what it is that you want to provide, for example, if you're this chef, right? Say he wants to provide really great food for whatever group of people he's serving, right? How is he any different from a million other chefs? Well, what I would tell him to do is he needs to sit down and figure out what kind of private chef he wants to be. Does he want to do exclusively sushi and be known as the sushi chef for the area that he's in? Does he want to make Italian cuisine? Does he want to do Greek food? You know what I mean? You being a jack of all trades doesn't really do anything if you have a bunch of other jack of all trades chefs, right? So number one thing is I would focus on the experience before anything else. And don't worry about your logo. Don't worry about your product packaging. Ultimately, you have to focus on the emotion that your customer is going to feel when they interact with you. And one of the things you can do about that is to make sure you have kick-ass customer service. I've been around a lot of different places all over the United States and elsewhere, and I can tell you that customer service is not necessarily the same worldwide. And those who offer more in the areas of customer service, if those who go the extra mile and who actually really deliver on their promises, that causes them to stand out automatically. And that's before they have a logo necessarily. That's before they have a website. Something else that you need to be able to do is to articulate to people what it is that you do. If you're just going on and on and on, I'm a chef. I cook food. Great, right? But what is the end result that your customers are going to want to experience? What kind of an experience do you provide your diners as that chef? That's what you do. You provide them an amazing dining experience. And the food that you provide is like, the most excellent cuisine they have ever tasted because blah, 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 blah. That's what you do. You don't ever talk about yourself, Nobody cares that you are a chef, for example. They want to know that the food that they're going to get is the best tasting food they've ever tasted in their lives, right? So focusing on the experience that your customers have is one of the best things you can do at the very beginning when you are starting to position yourself and to brand your business. The second thing is when you actually do start to go and, I'm looking at my notes here. When you actually do start to go and start with the actual things that everybody thinks about is branding, like getting your logo, your website, etc. Don't be cheap. I just say that right now. The image of yourself and your business really does matter. And so go for a professional designer when you get your logo done. Make sure that your website and everything all across all of your products, anything that the customer sees, make sure it all matches. Make sure that the same message is expressed to the customer throughout all of your materials. If you, for example, with your copywriting, if you have a particular tagline or tagline or logo, tagline or a slogan. If you have a tagline or slogan that you really, really like, and that's what you want your business to be associated with, like Nike's Just Do It, make sure that's across all of your marketing materials, right? Make sure your designer also puts together a style guide for your business, and make sure that it defines your color palette, your typography, your visual style, your imagery, etc. So that, again, all of that can be consistent across all of your different marketing channels, whether that's your digital online assets like your website, your social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And then, you got to remember that all of that is absolutely necessary, but it's really only half the battle. Okay, you need to be proactive on on monitoring how that guide is being used on your behalf. So definitely use a professional designer, but make sure that you're involved pretty much every step of the way. Okay, that is about it for today. One other thought. You might hear people saying today that there's a move away from branding your business. It's called debranding. And it's all the rage now to start using native inline content where brands are actually kind of hiding the fact that they're a brand, and they're trying to sell their stuff as though they're a magazine article or journalistic article, something scholarly. And that does work to a degree, but I don't buy the idea that brands or branding is going to go away anytime soon. So just pay attention to that. Okay, like I said, that's about it. I'm going to wrap this up. If you have a similar story to the chef that I mentioned, if you're somebody who is starting off brand new, or even if you're not brand new, but you're having branding problems, and you want to talk about those problems and see about getting some answers to them and solutions to them, then I want to invite you to my Facebook group. It's the Entrepreneur Success Factor. We are a growing community designed to help solve problems like I just talked about. Problems pretty much that every entrepreneur faces. If you don't find the link to it in the comments below this video, you can just basically type that in. It's the Entrepreneur Success Factor into the Facebook search bar, and then just come and apply to join. Like I said, if you have questions, you can either post those questions in the comments to the different posts that we put into the group. It's designed to be very value-filled, something that you really can learn from and take advantage of and apply to your own business. So you can either post questions in the comments or you can use the Facebook Messenger to get in touch with me. Now, I'm not there 24/7. I'm not on Facebook 24/7. I do have a life, and I do have my own business that I work on. But I do try to be available to answer questions within pretty much 24 hours of receiving them. So yeah, again, you're totally invited, and I hope to speak with you, learn from you, and maybe provide you with a lot more value in the Facebook group. And that's it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.